my name is Chi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. You're watching Petite Dressing. If you're new to my channel, I am 5'2". I am a petite blogger. I upload videos every week. I talk about petite fashion style tips as well as how to dress for your body type. Subscribe to my channel so that you will get a notice every time I upload a new video. I also welcome your comments. How to dress the hourglass figure. You are so lucky. The most feminine and the most ideal body type every other girl wish they would have. All the other body types is trying to style themselves so that they can look like an hourglass. And you have those naturally. How awesome is that? Well, that is just the outsider's view. You are the only one, and probably other women with the hourglass figure share the same frustration with you. Sometimes your curves that everybody else wants actually can get in the way when you're looking for what to wear. I can totally understand that because in fashion business, when you look at the runway, the models, the mannequins, the inverted triangle body type, or they are the rectangle body type. So the clothing industry makes clothes according to a flatter body type, not meant to accommodate pronounced curves that you have. In today's video, I will talk about first, how do you know you have an hourglass body shape? And second, which celebrities have hourglass figure? And then I will get into details about your strength, your weakness. Well, you don't really have any real weakness, but what is the best way to bring out your strength and accentuate your curves or otherwise. I will also tell you several things you should not wear. As an hourglass figure, you really have nothing you need to hide about your body. That doesn't mean everything looks equally good. Let's get started. First, how do you know you have an hourglass body type? The hourglass body type has very balanced curves. You have your shoulders about as wide as your hips, and your waist is significantly smaller than your hips. So that could be 8 inches smaller or 12 inches smaller, depending on the individual. Hourglass body type does not request any specific measurements. It's not like you need to have 25 inches of waistline. No, you don't have to have that. We're just talking about the ratio of your shoulders, your hips, and your waistline. So you could very well be a plus size girl with very generous curves as long as waistline is significantly smaller than your hips, shoulders balanced with your hips, then you are still an hourglass figure. As we go through life, it's very likely we will gain some weight, lose some weight here and there, but normally our ratio, body ratio, does not change. Secondly, let's look at the celebrities with hourglass figure. I have several other videos that talks about celebrity body types. So if you haven't watched those, I highly recommend you do. The most famous celebrities I will mention today: Sofia Vergara. She's one of the most well-known hourglass goddess, and you can tell most of her red carpet looks just like an hourglass. So she is probably what everybody will recognize as soon as you see her on the red carpet. And then Scarlett Johansson, she is 5'3", so she is petite, hourglass as well. She's also known as Marilyn Monroe of today, so that says about her curves. Salma Hayek, she has the extreme curves. If you're wondering, what about Kim Kardashian? What about Jennifer Lopez? So those are the other celebrities that's commonly quoted as hourglass body type. Well, let me put it this way. They do have certain features like the hourglass body type. Also have features of the pear shape. I'm leaning towards them more as a pear shape because both Jennifer Lopez and Kim Kardashian, when they gain weight, you tend to notice it first on their thighs. And of course, both of them, their butt is wider than their shoulders, which is a typical feature of the pair. But really, how we label the body types is not the most important part, and the most important is to understand the assets and the weaknesses. So as an hourglass figure, what is your asset? Well, you don't need me to tell you that because you probably have been getting attention on your nice curves all your life. You know your best assets are your curves. You have the full chest, you have curved full hips, and you have a teeny waist. How do you accentuate them? By what you wear. First, the best dress for the hourglass shape is something that has a structure. Because of your curves, you need a structured dress to hold it all in, to highlight everything. The dress needs to have the right silhouette as well as the right fabrics in order to be flattering to the hourglass body. In terms of the silhouette, if you want to fully show off your curves, nothing does it better than the bodycon dresses, the form-fitting dress. What it does is it basically highlights all your assets. It highlights your full bust, highlights your full hips, and it puts attention on your teeny waistline. Another wonderful choice for the hourglass is the wrap dresses. It flows with your body curves, so it looks very feminine. Second, it also has a flexibility. You can decide how tight or how loose you want to tie. That's a big advantage for the hourglass shape because one major frustration is that most of the dresses that can accommodate your chest is probably too empty for your waist. So the wrap dress can solve that problem for you. Make wrap dress one of your staple pieces in your closet. Now, if you want to tone it down a notch, then you can consider the fade and flare dress silhouette. Fade and flare is universally flattering, so not just the hourglass body type, it highlights the curves in your upper body and it shows that you have a tiny waistline, flares out nicely under your hips. Now, the best tops for the hourglass figure. I want to first tell you about the different necklines because necklines make a huge difference. Generally speaking, you should go with a lower neckline with plenty of space in the front. The deep V neck, the scoop neck, a big U neck. So you get the idea. Anything that's lower and that shows enough in the front, enough space in the front, that's flattering to you. So sometimes if the girl doesn't want her chest to be the only focus, then she tends to go with something try to cover in the front that never looks good on an hourglass. Wearing the higher neckline, a crew neckline, or even worse, the turtle. First, it doesn't do the justice to your full bust, and second, it actually brings all the attention to the front. So instead, go with the necklines, the lower necklines I mentioned earlier, and that's actually gonna cut your full chest into half, gonna make your front look more balanced. And then second, your top needs to be well fitted. Anything that's boxy does not work on you. The reason is that because your full chest, if you're wearing something boxy, your chest is going to get in the way. The fabrics is not going to be draping down nicely on your body like girls with a flatter chest. So you need to keep that in mind. You need something well fitted and you need a lower neckline. Now let's talk about the bottoms. First, talk about the jeans and the pants. Jeans can be a problem for you, and the reason is anything you find that fits your butt is probably going to be too big for your waist, and vice versa. Anything that fits your small waist is not going to work for your butt. Emails from my readers telling me how frustrated they have been trying to find a jeans that fits their hourglass figure. So I totally understand your frustration and where you're coming from. So the best solution for you is really to find something that works for your butt, and then take it to the tailor and let her or him make it fit your waist. That means you have to spend extra dollars on tailoring, but that is well worth the investment, because a well-fitted clothing looks much more expensive. In terms of the leg shape, I'm not against you wearing skinny jeans, because like I said, as an hourglass, you really don't have anything you need to hide. So the skinny jeans could work if you want to emphasize your curves even more. If you want something that can balance your curves out, I would say a wider leg works better. A flare leg or a bootcut leg, those has more volume. That will balance out your curves nicely. Now the skirts. If your goal is to highlight your curves, then nothing does it better than a pencil skirt. A pencil skirt hugs your curves so nicely, and better yet, if you go with a pencil skirt with flunks at the bottom, that gives you the shape of the mermaid. That's just dream come true. If your goal is not to be too sexy, and for instance in the office setting, consider an A-line skirt, because the A-line skirt has enough space in the shape so that it will not be highlighting your butt. Okay, now let's look at what does not work. There are several things you should be really careful about putting them on you. First, it's a tube top. The tube top looks much better than someone who does not have a full chest like yours. Someone with Kate Moss kind of rectangle body type, it could look really chic on them, but for an hourglass body, when you wear a tube top, it just does not give you enough support. Anything that's boxy, it could be a boxy top, could be a boxy dress, they will not work for you. The problem is, for the hourglass body, you could be thin, but you still got your curves. So if you wear anything that's boxy, that's gonna make you look like really bulky, I suggest you really stay away from anything that's shapeless. The baby doll, that's another shape that's not gonna look very good on hourglass, because it just tends to make you look pregnant. Be very careful with that kind of design. Now, I want to talk about what your options are if you want to take a break from the full feminine hourglass goddess type of image. First, you can consider a one-piece jumpsuit. The jumpsuit needs to be well fitted, and you can see some examples on Scarlett Johansson in recent years. Also consider pantsuits. You can also get inspiration from Scarlett Johansson. The pantsuit tend to look masculine. A well-tailored pantsuit still highlights your small waist, but it doesn't emphasize as much on your full chest and your hips. So those are the two good choices for you to consider if you want to take a break from the traditional mermaid shape of hourglass style. Here's more styling tips for you. Watch this video and let me know what you think.